Buzz. How's that? Yay. Cute. Okay. So this is the full moon transmission. What we do is every couple of weeks, we meet on the new moon and the full moon, right around thereabouts, in order to give you what the bare minimum that you need to make this time cosmically, spiritually effective for you, but also everything we got, because we are always super extra like that. But what we do is we bring you a channeled intuitive astro update, as well as tarot cards for all of the elements and signs, which is similar to the way we do our weekly readings for you. They're called the Elements of Spirit, where we give you 5 videos: ether, earth, air, water, and fire. And basically, you get to mix and match those videos every week, and there's affirmations that come with them. But today, for the full moon transmission, we do channeled astro update, tarot for all the signs and elements, and then also suggestions for ritual, ritual to align with what? The full moon in Scorpio. Full moon in Scorpio comes tomorrow, Saturday the 18th, from it's at 2:11 p.m. Best time to do full moon ritual, full moon magic, 2 or 3 days on either side of the full moon. So would be valid last night, definitely valid tonight. Exact tomorrow at 2:11. Functional tomorrow night, the next night, even the night after that. But for me, I like to be Virgoan. I'm Virgo rising. I like to be a Virgo about this stuff and try to have my pussy like open to the sky in the moment where the alignment is exact, 2:11 p.m. tomorrow. But it's not exactly witchy. So, you can wait until it's dark out and that big juicy full moon is hanging high in the sky. If you can't do it tomorrow night, do it tonight. Again, this is a great example of Edible Spirit vibes, where we like to give you all the options in the hopes of making it simpler without dumbing it down. And that's what you get as part of the experience. Basically, yours truly showing up on the regular, weekly, bi-monthly, and then quarterly with these special events like full moon. I'm sorry, not. We do a solstice and equinox rituals as a community. And then we have this call-in show on Monday from 6 to 8. Where you can call in and get like a real deal Edible Spirit reading for free, or for your $10 a month subscription, but you just got to be on the gram to do it. So we're trying to come up with creative and delicious ways of getting the work that we do and the work that you guys are doing with us to be demystified, destigmatized, simplified, accessible. And one of the things that we love about the experience is that it gives you the opportunity to do this stuff alone on your own time, but actually we're all doing it together. So that's cool. Community. Okay. Without further ado, we're going to go into the intuitive astro update. Okay. Which is the way we do it is we pull up the full moon chart and we tell you what we're vibing with, and then you can make of it what you will. And then we're going to, basically. Okay. So full moon in Taurus means that, full moon in Scorpio means that the sun is in Taurus and the moon is opposite. The moon is in Scorpio. That's the first really interesting thing. So what this means is that Taurus season has been this kind of process of condensing and dealing with the spaces that we find ourselves in. That's been the kind of prevailing theme in all of the experience material in the last month or so. The sun leaves Taurus on Tuesday, the 21st, which is also why we're doing the call-in show on the 20th, the last day of Taurus season. Taurus being an earth sign, element earth, right? It is a fixed earth sign, right? So it is the sort of middle, the peak of the season, right? Of spring, and it represents a kind of encapsulation and condensification and densifying, pendulous, meaty, right? Heavy, weighty. And so first thing is to remember is that full moon is when the moon is opposite the sun. So it's actually calling on us to bring in the energies of Scorpio to help us deal with the energies of Taurus, to balance out the densest energies of Taurus with the most sort of like fluid and transformative and mysterious energies of Scorpio. Balance out the dense with the magic and the mystery, right? The tangible with the mysterious. That's a great example of Scorpio and Taurus. Also, interestingly, the next thing that we see coming up here is that Mercury is also opposite also opposite the moon. So this just tells us that during this full moon, during this mysterious Scorp full moon, pay attention to the voice in your head, and also it basically is saying like expect inner communication that is unexpected, right? Is unexpected. So it's basically saying like listen to yourself, listen to others, listen to what you're saying, listen to what you're hearing, because those transmissions, the communications coming from the deep are also going to help ground you, right? The communications and transmissions coming to you are like echoes from the deep that are going to help ground you. So everything is trying to help you get grounded before Mercury and Gemini are very connected. So everything's trying to help you get grounded before the sun goes from Taurus into Gemini on Tuesday. And then like, pew, we go from this really, really dense energy of Taurus into this beautifully excitable, diversified, energized energy of Gemini, activated energy of Gemini, mental energy of Gemini. So we're reading this as a sort of like final corner that we are being backed into thanks to Taurus season in order to deal with all the things that are around us, deal with emotions that have risen up, thoughts that have risen up, but they're not even just rising up like casually, they're rising up as like roadblocks, obstacles, things to deal with before the pace picks up come Tuesday with the sun entering Gemini. So listen to yourself, listen to the things that are going on around you. The idea is that if you're not listening, you're going to miss really good information, as opposed to feeling, or as opposed to sensing, or as opposed to like acting or going for. You want to be listening and reading and basically just scanning for insight that seems like it's coming out of nowhere, but when you pay attention to it, actually helps you to root and get deeper into yourself. Okay, then I think there's one more thing. Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn and retrograde Pluto in Capricorn. Is this talking to Pluto, or is this just about Saturn? It's mostly about Saturn, saying that we're sort of having to deal with, we're being encouraged to deal with the truths. Well, we're being encouraged to deal with these unexpected messages, unexpected transmissions, unexpected insights, unexpected dialogues, unexpected conversations. There's this sense, and we're emphasizing the one between you and yourself, but there may be ones that happen around you. The whole idea is to pay attention to what you're learning, right, Mercury, about how you feel about these things and how you feel about what's changed, right? So there's this opportunity for wonderful orientation, and the presence of Saturn says, like, whether you like it or not, you're probably going to have to deal with these messages. So rather than like la-di-da-di-da-di-da, like Scorpio full moon, oh God, now I have to deal with this. It's like, ooh, Scorpio full moon. I'm listening for something that's going to come out of nowhere, either internally or through an unexpected conversation, or just through dialoguing with myself about what I'm dealing with now as all of these things keep changing. What are the tangible things I have to deal with? Example, wonderful, great friend of mine, business blowing up, all these things happening. They're also moving. So they have to deal with these practical, tangible things about changing houses. Self, example, right? So many things changing. Scorpio moon is giving me a chance to see how I feel about these things. And look, if I wasn't examining my life right now, I would probably be a lot more all over the place. But Saturn is like, learn some lessons about this, get into it, dig into this, wrap your head around this, figure this out, because if you don't, you're going to have to anyway, so chase the lesson as opposed to waiting for the lesson to drop on your head. And then there's one more thing, which is like Venus and Uranus trine Mars. Okay, so there's a harmonious relationship right now between the inner masculine and the inner feminine, the divine feminine aspect, the divine masculine aspect, right? And so, long story short, all of this is saying things are changing around you. How do you feel about that within you? If you pay attention to how you feel about that in you and learn some things from it, make notes, write down intuitive responses, messages, or interesting conversations that you have in the world around you relative to this sense of how do you feel about the things that are changing. The theory is that all of this is both supported by and informed by dramatic transformation of your masculine, feminine selves, right? So I love this because it's saying that there's this eruption in the divine feminine, and that eruption in the divine feminine is applying harmonious pressure to the divine masculine. I mean, P.S. abortion stuff, all the abortion stuff. We can just talk about that as that. Transformation, eruption, explosion in the divine feminine. Where is it? In Taurus. So literally about the densest realities of what it means to be female being exploded, right? But the cool thing about it is it's saying that is applying itself and oscillating with what does it mean to be male. So there's a relationship between male aspect, female aspect, transforming female aspect, and like dingle dangle male aspect, like off there somewhere in the distance. And it seems like this moon gives us a chance to check in personally with how we feel, what the truth is, what the depths of our fears, insecurities, emotions around all the things that are changing. Okay, so orienting to change internally, externally, and collectively. Okay, so that's a bit of a flavor of how the Edible Spirit experience works. Like we said, we are, for the time being, indefinite future, not doing one-on-one sessions. Oh, good, baby. We're not doing one-on-one sessions anymore. So we're really encouraging people that want to work with us to join the Edible Spirit experience. $10 a month. You can find the link in the bio and get access to this and a new moon stream every 2 weeks, weekly video readings in your inbox every Wednesday, and then quarterly events like the live group rituals, call-in show, and channeling moments, right? And then I think as we settle into this groove, there's going to be even more, but we need more of you to join so that we can keep doing this deliciousness, right? This aspect of our business. We're going to be working on private content for you guys, guided meditations, musical compositions, to help you channel and get all of this stuff deeply into you. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to just YouTube for the experienced subscribers, which is where we're going to do our tarot readings next for all of the elements. If you're not a subscriber, tune in again 2 weeks from now when we regularly broadcast the new moon transmission for everyone. Okay, so see you in a couple weeks. If you're not a subscriber, see you on YouTube or at ediblespirit.com/experience if you are a subscriber. Love you guys. See you later. Bye. Back to y'all. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you. Bear with us. Tell your friends too, please, to subscribe to the experience if you're into it and loving it. Share, hook it up. We were oddly and weirdly guided to stop doing one-on-one readings, which is how we've earned our living for the last, 8 or 9 years, doing readings one-on-one for 10 years fully. So what it means is that the call-in show is going to be super special because that's the format. We're going to still do stuff on the air. We're still trying to do creative events. We're still trying to get you guys to share your healing, to share your process with each other, because this is not as weird as people act like it is. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go into your tarot readings for you. Where's my deck? There's my deck. Yeah, we'll get rid of this guy too. Okay. Hi, sweethearts. Okay, so we're going to give you, as we always do, an ether card first for how best to harness this lunation for everyone, and then we'll go into the individual elements: air, fire, water, and earth. Trying to keep the hair cute, but she's backlit. Okay. Great. Okay, so how best to harness the mojo of this lunation for everyone. Let's turn this way so you don't just have to look at my neck. Even though my neck's cute. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so so interestingly enough, yeah, we were going to not read your reversals, but I think we're gonna. The first card for ether is the 10 of Cups reversed. So the best way for us to harness this lunation is to remember that all is well, but also like none of it's well. Everything is cosmically okay, Scorpio, but terrestrially fakakta, Taurus. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to remember that nobody is actually living their best life because not all of us are living our best life, right? There's this sense that until all beings are free, no beings are free, right? So there's a certain amount of this, which is just like, remember that there's nothing to freak out about fully, right? But you're not off the hook. We are not off the hook. If you're happy and have enough, try sharing. If you are mizzy and have nothing, try remembering what you do have. See, so there's just this sense with this card that we're all okay, but we're also all very much in pain. We're all a big happy family, but we're also all very much like torn apart and fragmented into smithereens. You see what I mean? Orienting to change internally, externally, and collectively. That's what our ritual is going to be about. And there's just this sense of all of us having to like deal with things, to deal with dense stuff. Scorpio reminds us that everything dies, but also that everything is alive, or everything dies, right? Every form dies, but every life continues mysteriously and infinitely and eternally, right? Sex is the creation, act of creation, but also the little death, right? So there's also something from Scorpio full moon about like, let the light of this full moon alter what you think you see so that you either see it clearly or so that you see its distortion, how distorted it actually is. So there's a sense here of like, tra la 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 la, but oh, not too much, you guys, because we have plenty to be happy about, but we're not all free, right? How does that manifest individually? With the air signs, it's the idea of the Ace of Swords reversed, which is saying like, you're brilliant, you have everything you need inside of you, but you got to ground it into the earth. So I think that's what's going to probably come out of this. I don't want to project it, but I'm feeling it internally and intuitively that, intentions aren't really enough right now. Intention, clarified, and then acted upon is what's important. So I've been seeing this a lot with people being like, okay, men, are you really upset about these abortion bans? Like, say something about it, do something about it. Or like the Met Gala, I mean, amazing, but girl, like, it's hard. I'm all for glam and all for magic and all for fashion. There's just something a little off about indulging in our joy without taking responsibility for our pain. So what you guys are doing, it's not that everyone has to take responsibility for their pain. It's like connect with the goodness that you have so that you can ground it into the earth and share it with others. So what I would say is for air signs, make a promise to yourself in the next 2 weeks to actualize some of your ideals, to take some of the thoughts and ideas and brilliant, theories and possibilities that you've identified and to anchor them in the earth, put some traction, on them, get some traction on them, cover some ground, move forward, take some action. Don't just let the Ace of Swords remain a possibility. Make it into an actuality. Get your ideas going, okay? Fire signs, the Five of Wands, okay? Don't be complacent. Stir shit up. Get things going. In your case, it's not about actualizing an idea or an ideal. In your case, it's just like get in the game. If you've been out of the game for a minute, get back in the game. Bat some shit about, have conflicts, have conversations, do negotiations. But take your head out of the reverie or the overwhelm or whatever by just getting some momentum going, chugging along, right? Spinning things on their head. Water babies. Ace of Pentacles. So another ace. I'm hearing in my head, how do you feel about what you have? How do you have about what you feel? Right? What is the evidence of your feelings? It's saying that there's an opportunity here in the next 2 weeks, but especially we're feeling in the next few days, to really finish off the energy. No, what it's actually saying is that in the next couple weeks, you're going to finish off this energy of Taurus season and actually start a whole new cycle of manifestation. So the real question for water babies is, what do you will to create? What do you will to manifest. And the theory would be, don't just dream it up out of nowhere. That's why we said, what do you have about what you feel, right? The theory is that Taurus season is making you deal with your stuff, making you deal with things, circumstances anyway. So most likely it's like you've got checkers in front of you, so don't start playing chess. You can if you want to and do whatever you want, but it's like you want to play the game with the pieces that you have right now, as opposed to waiting. Because the theory is that you're going to finish off some kind of game in the next couple weeks, and then a new cycle of manifestation is going to occur. So that would be a nice way of saying it, is use the next couple weeks to tie up any loose ends so that you can initiate a new cycle of tangible possibility, right, during Gemini season. So that while the energy picks up, you kind of know what you're trying to anchor and know what you're kind of trying to drop. Okay. And then Earth babies, 4 of Pentacles reversed. The 4 of Pentacles reversed says, steady as she goes, but not stagnant. Steady, not stagnant. And to tie both of these things back to the 10 of Cups, water babies, the way that you can pay attention to both, the best and also, well, the freedom, the good stuff, but also to all those who are not free, is to keep going and to just not rest on your laurels, not get too caught up in the good feelings and not get too caught up in the bad feelings, right? Not get too caught up in the positive or the negative, to just kind of keep going and keep proceeding with the intention to make things happen and make things manifest, even if you don't really know how it's going to happen. And then for Earth babies, it's like you don't have to hold your cards so close to the chest, because we feel like things are sort of going well for you right now. So there might be an urge to not change anything and just sort of hold your chips so that you can keep the good feelings going. But the idea here is to not hold them so tight. You don't need to be completely fluid and flexible, but just soften up your edges. Check for rigidity, because it almost feels like you run the risk of locking into something which could make you feel as good as you do right now. But if you actually go a little crazier, don't lock into that something, follow your heart, you end up feeling even better than you do right now and doing even better than you do right now. So don't presume that holding on to everything is going to make you feel better than letting go of everything. Okay. Okay, so those are your tarot readings for this lunation. We're going to tune in and see what we get by way of ritual. Remembering. Yeah, here we go. So this would be a great time to, well, this is where you're going to start when you pick up if you want to do the ritual. Okay. Okay. So fun. Okay, great. So what we like to do here is we're going to basically walk you through this ritual. We will set the intention that this is a ritual to honor the full moon in Scorpio. Calling on all of the elements of earth, air, water, and fire. Beautiful spirits. If you have, yeah, okay, so we'll give you that. So we're setting the intention. If you like to, we like to have representations of all four elements: earth, air, water, and fire. Flower or crystal for earth, candle for fire, bowl of water for water, sage or incense for air, ether being power objects or anything, any images of God forms that you love, deities that you like to work with. We have a little statue of, never going to show. Oh, yeah. See, it's so cool. It's like a holographic statue of the Virgin Mary from Medjugorje. Got her there. And then basically, yeah, we're going to take 3 deep breaths to align ourselves to that central channel of flow. Intending to protect your energy, imagining a beautiful sphere or orb or oval or egg of energy around you and your energy, calling all that energy into that central channel, asking anything that you don't need to come up in the form of gray or black smoke that you don't need, blowing it out. Visualizing a grounding cord from the base of your spine all the way to the center of Mother Earth, calling up whatever you don't need. Sending it down that chute. One more time. And now affirming that this is a ritual to honor the full moon in Scorpio, calling upon all the guides and guardians that are with all of you and with myself, angels, archangels, saints, orishas, masters, guides, ancestors, ancient ones, elementals, and nature spirits, calling on all of the elements of earth, air, water, fire, and ether, all the archangels of the 4 directions, any guides and guardians that are with all of you and with myself that are of the light and come in the highest good and healing of all involved. You're very welcome to join this circle today. Beautiful, beautiful angels, beings, sweet ones. You can pause and sit with just that little bit of an invocation, grounding your shit, shielding your shit, calling in the elements, calling in the energies, calling in the ancestors, calling in the archangels, calling in all of these beautiful spiritual forces into this sacred space that we've just created, breathing with them, feeling them. That would be enough for an effective full moon observance. Just let the energies do their thing. We are word nerd, so we like to use words, rituals, ideas, images, sounds, to help to further refine our alignment. What we're encouraging you to do now is to write down, what are my inner resources, at least 3 of them. What do I have within me that I can draw on? Right? Taurus is about, old school is about money, stuff, things. New school is actually about self-esteem, worth, value. What do we have that's valuable? So inner resources. What do you know that you have to work with, that you love? Are you compassionate? Are you giving? Are you, a hard ass? Are you exacting? Are you an executor? And then what are your outer resources? What are you working with right now? Do you have a badass bank account? Do you have a beautiful, creative, collaborative community? Are you working with family? Are you working with new forms, right? New media? The idea is that if you can articulate what you're working with internally and externally, you are going to have a much greater sense of the transformations that are occurring right now. Because the theory would be that moving through Taurus season has given you a new sense of value in terms of these inner and outer resources. So we channeled this. We didn't know this was where this was going. So take this full moon opportunity while you're sitting under the light of the full moon to reflect on yourself, to reflect on what you consider to be valuable inside and outside of yourself. What you can do more than 3, but we're just giving you minimum, minimum 3. Because then once you've written those out and reflected on them a bit, you want to look at them, and then you want to connect to that full moon energy, feeling it, looking at it, feeling it absorbing into your cells, and saying, I promise to work with these elements to catalyze ideal change. I promise to work with these elements to catalyze ideal change. I promise to work with these elements to catalyze ideal change. You, if you're a rhyming witch, you're very welcome to make that into a rhyme, but we believe that clarity is just as important as aesthetics, right, in speech. Now, once you set that promise, you're going to say 3 times, I surrender to change. I enjoy change. I surrender to change. I enjoy change. I surrender to change. I enjoy change. You could also substitute that with, I surrender to the mystery. I enjoy the mystery. I surrender to the mystery. I enjoy the mystery. I surrender to the mystery. I enjoy mystery. I surrender to creation. I enjoy creation. I surrender to creation. I enjoy creation. I surrender to creation. I enjoy creation. And then finally, I am aligning with collective change in the highest good of all. I am aligning with collective change in the highest good of all. I am aligning with collective change in the highest good of all. I would suggest saying that at least 3 times, but you're better off saying it until you really believe it. And then whenever you feel that little bubble burst of, I believe it, I'm aligning with collective change in the highest good of all, stop, full moon saturation point, make any notes that you have, and then back it out. Giving thanks to all of the guidance, guardianship, angels, archangels, saints, orishas, masters, guides, ancestors, ancient ones, elementals, nature spirits. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, guardians of the elements. Thank you, archangels. Thank you, beautiful, beautiful light beings. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you to the spirits of the land upon which we find ourselves. Thank you to the heart, the one heart that is your heart, that is my heart, that is every heart. Hands at the heart center, bowing to the one heart. Deep breath in. And this ritual is complete. This transmission is nearly over. Last thing we'll just say to you guys is thank you as always for tuning in. Thank you for your feedback. Do share your experience with others. Post about it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatnot. Like we said, we've been guided to no longer do our one-on-one readings, which is exciting. We get it. We get why, but it's intense. I surrender to change. I enjoy change. I surrender to creation. I enjoy creation. Just it like kathunged inside of our body, like, bitch, this applies to you too. So let us know how this works for you, how this feels for you. We love you so much. We are so here for you. And probably, I'm guessing Saturday, more likely Sunday. If not at the latest Monday, we're packing up because we hit the road on Thursday. We're going to be on the road for the rest of the summer. So point being, if we don't get you the call-in information by Sunday, it'll be there Monday morning for sure. So stay tuned and be there on Monday, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific on Monday the 20th. And that would be 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern for the call-in show. So you guys get all the readings in the world. We had a great time doing it last time. So if you want a reading and you're a subscriber, call in, Queen. And like we said, if you get a busy signal, don't worry. We will see your numbers on the call list and we'll be able to call you back. Okay. Love you guys. Happy full moon in Scorpio.